Real life financial planning scenario, parent just passed away. Both myself and my siblings are listed as beneficiaries on their IRA. How do we split it? How do we take it? What do we do next? I've got that and more coming up. My name is Mike Bernard. I'm the host of the Wise Money Show. I'm also one of the certified financial planners right here at Korhorn Financial Group. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up button. All right, so when you have an IRA, along with all the decisions you need to make about, where do you have it, what do you invest in, what's your rebalance schedule, your withdrawal, what's your tax strategy, all that sort of stuff, one of the basic decisions that you need to make is who's the beneficiary. Who's the beneficiary? When you have an IRA or a Roth IRA, 401k, those sorts of things, this decision is often cast aside. In fact, as we see a lot of new folks come to our offices, meet with our certified financial planners, that's one of the things that we audit really early in the relationship. And I can't tell you how many times clients have either, folks that have come to us, they've either overlooked it, like, oh, I guess I just thought that decision was already made, or I don't remember, or whatever. Or their prior financial professional, the advisor they were working with, or online account, they just never really made a point of making sure that a beneficiary was added. Or they just did the easy route, and I'll explain that in just a second. But every retirement account, and life insurance, by the way, too, and non-IRAs, oh my goodness, here I go on a rabbit trail. You got to work with the CFP, do estate planning. That's part of the six areas of your financial life. So I get that out of the way. Every IRA in this instance, it's going to have an owner, okay? And the I in IRA is same with the I in Roth IRA, is individual. It can't be joint. It's individual. So every account, every IRA has an owner, but then you can also list a primary beneficiary, and that is who gets the money if you pass away. You can list multiple people, you can have it be an individual, you could have it be a charity, you could, all that sort of stuff, right? And assign percentages. So a primary beneficiary, and that is if you pass away, who stands in line to receive those dollars, that account. And then you could also list a contingent beneficiary, or again, a group of them, each getting a portion of it. And so here's how it would look, that if you are married, well, when I pass away, the primary beneficiary is 100% my spouse. And then if my spouse passes away before me, so if they predecease me, then it would flow through to the kids. Or if we pass away at the same time, something like that, it'd flow through to those contingent beneficiaries, which, again, most people would list as the kids. You wouldn't have to list it out that way if you don't have kids, or there's a cause that you really want to support. Maybe you'll leave money to the kids via life insurance, and you leave your IRA to the church and that sort of stuff. There's lots of different ways that you can set it up, but the point is to be aware and be planning and align your beneficiaries appropriately. So having a primary and contingent beneficiary on all of your retirement accounts, really all of your assets, that's the prudent thing to do. Now the rules are, before we get back to the scenario, the rules are, they've changed recently, and I'll go way back. Let's say in 2006, I believe is when this changed, that if your spouse is your primary beneficiary and you pass away, your spouse has the choice, has the option. They don't have the obligation. They have the choice, the option to turn your IRA into their own IRA and make themselves the owner. And in almost every scenario, this is a no-brainer, except in very few, and we're not going to get into that today, but there could be a small reason where your spouse wouldn't want your IRA to become their own. They'd want to keep it a beneficial account, but if your spouse is the primary beneficiary, they have the choice. Starting in 2006, they had the choice to turn that IRA into their own. So if they've got an IRA and then you pass away with an IRA, they can take your IRA and just combine it with theirs, and that's it, right? So you've got to be aware of that rule. Second rule, and this changed as well. What about for non-spouses? If you inherit an account from someone that's not your spouse prior to 2020, and this has nothing to do with COVID, but the Secure Act 1.0, which is huge tax law changes that happened right before the world changed with COVID. And that is, you used to be able to draw a little bit out of that account for the rest of your life And you could take more out if you wanted to, but you could stretch your withdrawals out of that IRA over your entire lifetime by just taking a little bit out every single year, a required minimum distribution. You could do that prior for accounts you inherited prior to 2020. But since 2020, for accounts that you've inherited, if they were already inherited before that, you can use the old rules. If the individual passed away and you inherited the account after 1/1 of 2020, the rules have changed. And the IRS is actually still interpreting these rules, and at the time I'm recording this, they still have yet to make a final determination. That's right. In the middle of 2023, they've still yet to finalize interpreting laws that were created in 2019. That's true. Should scare all of us. You've got 10 years to empty the entire account. You've got to withdraw if you're inheriting an IRA or Roth IRA or 401k from someone that's not your spouse. Doesn't matter who it is. They're not your spouse. If you're not married to them at the time they passed away, you've got 10 years to withdraw that entire account. The account's got to be empty, okay? The question is, do you also have to take a minimum amount every single year out of those 10 years? I think the answer will be yes. If you inherit it from someone, if you inherit the account from someone that is already age 73 or is taking their required minimum distributions themselves, I think the IRS is going to rule that, well, you've got to take a little bit out every single year, but you've got to have the entire account emptied within 10 years. I think that's going to be their decision. We don't know yet, but we do know the entire account's got to be empty within those 10 years after they pass away, you inherit it. So those are the new rules that you need to be aware of. All right, so let's go back to the scenario. Scenario is dad died, mom was the beneficiary, mom inherited the account, combined dad's IRA with her own IRA, now mom's got an IRA. Mom passed away, and let's say that you knew and know up front that you and your sister, you and your sibling are 50-50 beneficiaries on that. How do you split it? How do you split that account? Well, it actually sounds intimidating. It's actually very simple, and your CFP is going to help you with that. You and your sister are not allowed to take mom's IRA and just combine it with yours, like I already mentioned. You've got to keep it separate. So you would open up an inherited IRA, that's the layman term, a beneficially designated account, BDA IRA is the more geeky term. So you're going to open up a BDA IRA and direct that your 50% or your CFP or mom's CFP is going to direct that 50% in line with the beneficiary assignment that mom had listed, going to direct your 50% into your BDA IRA and your sister's 50% into her BDA IRA. You will have to open up those BDA IRAs, even if you say, I'm cashing the whole thing out. If the IRA was in some sort of insurance product like an annuity, they will likely have a choice where you can say, just cash it out, give me the money, and then you'll get a tax form. But if the money's at Schwab or Fidelity or some other investment account, you're going to have to open up these beneficial designated accounts, BDA IRAs. Your share, your portion of the inheritance will go into there. Once it's there, then you've got decisions. How do you want to invest it? How much do you want to withdraw? Those sorts of things. Know that the money can't come out of mom's IRA to you and then you put it in the BDA IRA. It's got to go directly from mom's IRA into the beneficial designated account. You then can't take money out of the BDA IRA and then put it right back in. Not allowed to do that. Once the money comes out, there's no 60-day rollover, there's no loans, there's no nothing like that. It's got to stay within there until you officially know, I'm taking some out. It sounds intimidating. How do I split this up? Am I responsible for knowing what percentage? No. Your CFP is going to help you with all that. It's going to be documented on that beneficiary form that mom would have signed with her IRA. You're going to need to open up, you and your sister, all beneficiaries will need to open up this beneficially designated account, IRA, and then transfer your percentage portion there. Then you've got lots of choices. So work with your certified financial planner on that. If this is not your situation, hopefully it's making you think of, well, if this is my situation, is it going to be that smooth? Number one. Or if I pass away, do I have all my beneficiaries set up? Will they be able to have this easy decision making as well? So work with your certified financial planner on that. If you don't have a CFP on your team, contact one on my team. Find us online, Korhorn.com. That's Korhorn with K, wisemoneyshow.com. You can find us there as well, or send us an email, info@korhorn.com. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.